frame your head a little better.
I can't
Okay. Because you're
unless I can get an extension
all
cord.
right.
Hang
That's
on.
no, that's fine. Fucking let's do it. Let's fucking do it. Let's do it. Okay, 169. Lance, can you hear me? We've got shitty conditions tonight, people, but we think we can deliver you good audio. Um, Wait, Lance is maybe we're not going. Dang it, because Lance just disappeared looking. Damn it. I shouldn't have asked him to frame himself better. All right, we're shut down for a second. Here he comes. All right. Zero. I'm going to beat off tonight. If I get done with this stuff early enough. If I go to bed after like 3 a.m., then often I'm too tired to jizz. Oh wait, are we still on camera here? Yeah, well, all right. I mean that's the deal. I'm I'm not 20 years old anymore, and I'm living with somebody. So I mean, the whole country is facing the dilemma of when you're with somebody 24 hours a day, when do you do that? All right, but come on, let's go. I've done 3 workouts. I've had to cut back on the number of sets per workout because there's too much protein in my urine. So I've gone from 100 sets a day to I try to keep it between like right around 90 sets a day. So, all right.
Hello?
Hello, here's Lance.
Can you hear me, JD?
All right,
10.
we're good. All right, let's start talking about stuff besides like personally embarrassing stuff that JD got me on tape saying. All right, so can we start with the mail, Lance?
Sure.
All right, so of all the stuff that I, as a liberal, like to complain about, this whole scuttling the mail seems to be like the most transparently not right. This guy appointed by Trump has taken 671 automatic mail sorting machines, each of which can sort 36,000 pieces of mail an hour. He's pulled them out of post offices across the nation. And there are pictures all over Twitter of giant piles of mailboxes that have been unscrewed from the street. It just seems like, and Nancy Pelosi is bringing the House and the Senate. We're supposed to have a 27-day end of summer break, and Nancy Pelosi is bringing the House back at the end of next week to haul the new Postmaster General Louis DeJoy up in front of him. To see if we can stop the scuttling of the post office into the mail. Lance.
Well, I've got a good idea, Rick. How about not trying to steal the election with a lot of fraudulent mail ballots and just let people go back to the polling places the way they have for hundreds of years? Why don't you just give up trying to cheat? Have you thought of that as a possible
You guys are
solution?
the fucking cheaters. There are plenty of states that have done vote by mail for decade after decade with no fraud, and
There
there.
aren't plenty of states. There are very few. And as a matter of fact, the only state in the union that allows ballot harvesting is California. And all states allow absentee ballots. So why can't you be content with that? Why do you have to actually use the post office now?
Absentee ballots are the same thing as vote by mail ballots. And
Okay, all right.
what happens
They're not the same. They're not the same thing.
what's the difference?
Absentee ballots require a process of
So
identification.
to vote by mail, they require signature.
No, they don't. No, they don't. You get a mail. You get a letter in. You get a ballot in the mail. Your little kid can fill it out. There's no signature verification.
There is signature
There's no
verification.
ID. No, there isn't. No, there isn't. The Democrats don't want it, and it's up
Bullshit.
to the post office to the post office union has just come out and said that they want the Democrats to win. So I'm supposed to let the post office union decide who's going to win the election when we haven't for 200 years?
What you're trying to say is that the postal union endorsed Biden for president.
Yes.
So you put it as they want him to win. Well, okay, so yeah, there's a different way to put it.
I guess that is what that means. And so what they're going to do is they're going to steal Republican ballots and destroy them.
How do you
I'm
feel?
sorry, but
no, that's just crazy Dan Boingo Oingo bullshit. People,
no, it's human nature, Rick.
Trump himself.
I've got an idea. Why don't you use polling places and secure ballot boxes like we have for 200 years,
Rick?
Rick?
So you guys are gonna stop any. You guys are the way you're gonna do what you're gonna do is by fucking up the U.S. Postal Service.
The U.S. Postal Service is already fucked up, Rick. Do you not have the capacity to take 40 million letters on election day and sort them out? There's no way they can do it, Rick.
So wait, so only votes that are counted on election day. If it takes them a couple days afterwards to get them counted, so even though that's
It won't, Rick, it won't take them a couple of days. It'll take weeks or months. It is well beyond their capacity. It's 5 Christmases all at the same time. And what you Democrats will create is a chaotic situation.
Aren't you creating a chaotic situation by fucking up the Postal Service?
No.
You're scuttling the Postal Service.
Because even if we do everything you want, there will be a chaotic situation on November the 3rd. The post office is notoriously inept. And if you give them the equivalent of 5 Christmases all on the same day, they're not going to be able to get you who the president is. They can't do it. It's beyond their capacity.
Bullshit, and most ballots won't even come in on November 3rd. They'll be distributed. Every state in the union allows for some early voting and certainly some turning in of ballots before the actual election day.
Yeah, so, that hasn't overcome the majority of people who vote on the third. So we won't know who's won the election until a month later, Rick.
It won't be a month later, and if it's 3 or 4 days or 5 days later, that's been the case for elections throughout history.
Well, that's
why there are 77 days between election day and the end of the presidential term, because throughout history it took a while to get the returns in. The results weren't known and the votes weren't tallied in the late 1700s, and throughout the 1800s there were delays. We've got a 101-year pandemic going on. And we had delays. We didn't know who the president was for 2.5 weeks back in the election of 2000, and the country didn't.
Yeah, that wasn't a good thing. That wasn't good, Rick. I don't want an 18th century system of counting the votes because you guys want to cheat.
So you took it
and
upon
use the
yourself
postal
to
system.
Scuttle the Postal Service, which has been in business for 245 years. And so you're just going to
I don't know if they're scuttling the Postal Service, but if they are, I'm glad. I do not want the Democrats to be able to cheat and decide who the next president is. And I don't want a month of counting votes after the election,
You
after
just
November
don't
the
want
3rd.
people you don't like to be able to vote easily.
No, I want assholes that are afraid of COVID to get themselves absentee ballots or go to the polling place the same way they go to Target and Rite Aid and the hardware stores. They stand 6 feet apart and then they go into the
So
ballot
you're
box and
okay
they
with
vote.
absentee ballots, right? You just said you're okay with
Yes, I am.
absentee ballots. So
I am. Yes, I
so
am.
so
I don't want 40 million of them. No, I don't want 40 million.
so what are you going to do? So you're going to fuck up the mails to make sure there aren't 40 million of them.
I'm not, okay. What the postmaster is saying is that he doesn't have the capacity to
Because
do
he's been
this.
reducing capacity. He pulled out 2/3 of 1,000 sorting machines. Congress is coming back into session weeks early to stop the ongoing destruction of the Postal Service. The guy decommissioned.
Okay, good, good. If that's what he's done, and I haven't read anything about it, then I'm glad. That's the
He
way,
took
if that's the only way to keep you communists from cheating, then that's what I guess we'll have to do.
people have a right to vote absentee, right?
They do have the right to vote
So
absentee.
this guy has pulled out, as I said, nearly 700 automatic mail sorters. Pulled them
The
out of.
absentee ballots, the absentee ballots can count. There won't be enough of them to the problem. They'll be able to handle that. What they won't be able to handle is 60 million Americans showing up on November the 3rd and trying to mail for the U.S. Postal Service. They won't be able to do
Well,
that,
that's
Rick.
not what's going to
So your
happen.
little dream of cheating. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. If Democrats like it when people are rioting throughout the country, why is it that people can't make it to a voting place? I don't understand.
Well, the people who are protesting, the voting
Yes.
the percent, they are the lowest percentage turnout.
Well, there were 500,000 protesters. Why is it that you enjoyed that and you supported that, but you don't support the idea of people going to polling places
I
2
didn't
months
enjoy.
from
I
now,
mean,
3 months from now?
they're two different things, and I didn't. I had nothing to do with the fucking protests, and
Well, your Democrat leaders thought they were very good.
yeah, well, I don't think it's good to fill Hollywood Boulevard with more than 100,000 people. Um, and
Well, then why didn't your Democrat leaders stop it?
I don't know, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about the fucking mail because the mail, COVID, has killed one person out of 300 out of the population of people 65 years and older. By election day, one person in 200 who's 65 and older will have been killed by COVID. So, yeah, wait,
I don't know about that statistic.
Hold on, our director's asking something. What, JD? I mean, sorry, director who should remain nameless.
The director's asking a long
Yeah.
question,
So, all
ladies
right.
and
So
gentlemen.
you're saying why don't they allocate money for a special extra safe place for seniors to vote? Is that what you're saying?
I would be in favor
I
of
don't know
that.
how you do, like, if you get a bunch of people showing up to vote on election day, I don't know how you do it, but I mean, yeah, maybe yeah, that among other things, if you can set up, if you can permit early voting so that, so that people,
Well, there is
yeah, in
early
most
voting.
states, but I mean, like you'd want at least 2 weeks and more like 3 weeks of early voting, maybe more. So for the people who want to show up, um, and be, spatially isolated. Um, Seniors are the ones who vote in the highest percentage, and seniors are the ones who are at the highest risk of dying from COVID. So,
Hmm.
So
But why is it that seniors are allowed to go to Target and Home Depot and buy gas and groceries? I see seniors whenever I leave the house.
then see, I
Why
mean,
is that, Rick?
why are they allowed to? Because they're
Yeah, why are they allowed to do that? Why is it that
that's a
seniors are
personal
allowed to go
choice
to the
because
bank?
in this country we don't have a national mask mandate, and local mask mandates vary from city to city and state to state, and they're not very well enforced. So if people want to go out and not isolate, because you're just seeing when you go out, you're just seeing the people who have chosen to go out and put themselves
Yeah.
at risk. So
Yeah. Why don't they mandate that you have to wear a mask at the polling place?
maybe they will. I don't know. I mean,
Well, wouldn't that solve the problem because seniors are able to go to the bank and Target?
well,
I
yeah. I
mean,
mean,
I
I
know the
think
Democrats
In
won't be able to cheat.
California, you're supposed to wear a mask anytime you're inside a place of business, which I assume extends to.
Okay, well then have the seniors wear masks when they
Yeah,
go
but
to
if they're
vote,
like
Rick.
me, and I've got comorbidities. I don't want to stand in a line for 2 hours.
Well, then fill out
I
an
will.
absentee
I
ballot.
will.
Okay, Rick?
But tens of millions of people should have the opportunity to do that. And you guys are fucking with the.
Well, they do. They do, Rick. They
Well,
they
okay,
do,
so
Rick. They have
all
the
right.
right to
And they
fill out
have
an
the right
absentee
to be
ballot.
able to
They do.
turn in those absentee ballots and have them processed within a few days of the election, right?
Well, I don't know I've never done an absentee ballot before, so I don't know how it works. But my point is that you can either wear a mask to the polling place or you can fill out an absentee ballot. But the idea that the Democrats are simply going to mail out millions of letters to everybody and have these letters filled out with whoever happens to answer the door and have Democrat activists go around and pick up your ballots and then take
That's
those
not fucking
ballots to
how it works.
and then take those ballots. It's called ballot harvesting, Rick. It's legal in
It's legal in
California.
only.
And
Well,
then
hold on. All right,
take those
fucking shut up for a
and
second.
then
It's
take
legal
those
only
and
in
then take those
California, and
and then
California.
take those and then take those ballots to Democrat union members at the post office who will simply throw out the Republican letters. No, you don't get to do that.
How would they tell? How would they tell who's Republican and who's not? A, that's bullshit. B, if you no,
They
hold
can
on.
tell by zip
Ballot.
code, Rick, they can tell by zip code.
Okay, so voting by absentee or by mail has ballot tracking, which means that you're able to see that your vote was received and tallied. So nobody's throwing away thousands and millions of votes. B, but
Sure they are. Sure they
you're
are.
allowed
Sure
to
they are.
track. You have the ability to track your vote.
And
Also, you have to
who's gonna do that,
request.
Rick? Who's gonna do that? And what if it gets lost? What if it gets lost? What are they gonna do? Shut down the election because your vote got lost?
If hundreds of people saw that their votes were lost, there'd be an uproar. So also, so
That happens every election,
so
Rick.
you guys are fucking up the U.S. Postal Service. But the deal is, there's
No, you're a bunch of cheats. You're a bunch of cheats.
not fuck. There's sick now.
You're using COVID as an excuse so you can steal the election, just like you do every
Bullshit.
time in California.
Trump is shamefully bad at what he's done to this country. But
You're a
beyond that,
bunch of
all right,
thieves.
all right. So there's ballot harvesting in California. Fucking California went Democrat by 3 million votes anyway last time.
Yeah, 3 million illegals.
So, but who cares about ballot harvesting in California? It's going to be overwhelmed. No, they didn't fucking prove. They didn't prove that fucking shit at all. That California is going to be overwhelmingly Democrat. It doesn't matter if there's ballot harvesting because we're going to.
I'm sorry, Rick.
It doesn't.
I'm sorry, Rick. I'm sorry, Rick.
To get a vote by mail ballot, you have to write in, you have to provide your signature, you have to request a vote by mail ballot. They just don't
No,
just
you don't. No, no, I'm getting one in the mail, and I didn't even ask for it.
really. Do you have it? Can you show it to me?
I got a receipt saying they're sending me one.
Okay.
And furthermore, um, they proved in court this year that Los Angeles had 1 million extra voters on the voter rolls of people that had died or moved away. 1 million people in Los
Yeah.
Angeles
Did those
County
people
alone.
vote? Did those people vote?
Yeah,
No,
well,
'cause
they
they
were
were
sent
dead or
ballots.
they
Oh,
were
no.
moved away.
Yeah, well, no, your buddies, the Democrats, counted them. So if you showed up at the polling place and said you were some guy that died in 1971, you were allowed to vote. What do you think of that, Rick?
I think it's bullshit. I think that all these are arguments that
Well,
you
when
got.
they proved that 1 million people were still on the rolls of voters, that meant nothing. Is that it, Rick? Nothing. It's just bullshit, right, Rick?
Right. You
Even though they proved it in court.
so but that doesn't mean those people are voting. It doesn't mean dead people are voting. It doesn't mean people are.
Why do you think LA County went to court? The Democrats went to court with the Judicial Watch to keep those 1 million people still on the rolls. Why do you think they sued in court to try to keep them on the rolls, even though they didn't exist anymore?
I don't know.
Why do you think they
We
did
should
that,
take
Rick? Why didn't they just agree to take their names off the rolls?
I don't know. If you want to take a break, I'll read up on it.
No, I'll tell you
No,
the
because when you
answer.
tell me shit, it's bullshit. When you tell me shit, it's cherry-picked crap.
Okay, Rick. I'm gonna hang up right now. I want you to find that there were 1 million extra voters on the rolls in Los Angeles, proven in court this fucking year.
All right, I'll call you back in 8
You
minutes.
find that.
I'll call you back in 8 minutes. Bye.
Judicial Watch.
Oh, all right. So I read up on it, and there was a settlement between Judicial Watch and the state of California. The California admitted no wrongdoing, and it's the AP and PolitiFact and everybody else who's checked Judicial Watch's claims say that it's a pants on fire lie that 1 million voters are who are dead or who have moved or part of the active voter rolls. That California maintains inactive voter rolls of people who are not sent voting materials, and that the 1 million is bullshit. Also, there's a signature match requirement. You have to get a vote by mail ballot. You have to complete an application with your signature, and every year tens of thousands of votes are thrown out because the signatures don't match. In 2018, California passed a law that says that that you can track your ballot, and if your signature is if your ballot's thrown out because of a signature that doesn't match, you have a chance to correct it or explain or remedy it within, I don't know, 8 days.
Okay, first of all, did you know that Nancy Pelosi has tried to remove the signature match requirement this week?
Did it happen?
She said that she wanted to take that out.
Has it happened? Is the signature match required?
The Democrats trying to remove it. Do you want to vote for people that are trying to remove the signature match requirement? Do you think that's going to make a more honest election?
I don't know. I haven't researched the whole frickin' thing, but I know right now that.
Well, let me read what the Judicial Watch settlement was. The lawsuit that you pretended never happened.
I just said it happened.
Was Judicial Watch Incorporated versus Dean C. Logan. Okay, it was filed in 2017. Under the agreement, Secretary Padilla has agreed to remove up to 1.5 million names from the voter registrations. What do you think of that, Rick?
Those were according to the articles I read.
That's according to the settlement that was agreed upon. Do I need to read the actual settlement? Because under the terms of the settlements,
So the
there will be
California agreed to remove 1.5 inactive voters from their
no
rolls.
1.5 million
Up
inactive
to
voters.
up to
Yes.
1.5 million inactive voters. These are
Yeah.
voters that weren't being sent materials anyhow.
No,
These the,
what happened was you could go and say you were them, and then you could vote.
every article I read said that Judicial Watch's claims and Trump's claims that there were 1 million inactive voters being sent ballots and all that stuff is they rated that as a complete.
I understand that your media is lying to you, but we had a settlement agreement that was signed on April 11th by Secretary Padilla, notifying Judicial Watch that they would be removing up to 1.5 million
Up
names.
to. And these
Yeah,
are
I
inactive
understand
voters.
that, but it wasn't up to 10 names. It was up to 1.5 million
Anyway,
names
these are people
that managed to be on the voter rolls. Rick, why was
they're
that?
as
Why
inactive
didn't the
voters.
Democrats?
These are people who
Okay,
don't show up to vote because they're dead or they moved away. And
so why did they have to go to court for 3 years to get the Democrats to take their names off? Why didn't they just say, "Oh, well, that's an obvious oversight. We want honest elections,
all
we
right, all I can
Democrats.
say is
I
fucking.
guess we'll just take those names off." But instead, the Republicans had to sue the sons of bitches for 3 fucking years. Why is that,
Everybody
Rick?
who looked at it says it's a garbage suit.
Every Democrat that wrote an article for you to read says that there was no problem at all.
Yeah, they said there's no. So anyway, all I can tell you is, if you want to learn more about this, go Google.
No, I can find the settlement agreement for you if you want, but there's a paywall. Do you want me to buy so that I can read the settlement agreement to you?
No, I don't need to see the.
Why would they need to be going to court to fight the Republicans if everything was fine, Rick? Why didn't they just remove
among
the
other
name?
things, it's to
I
cast
don't understand,
doubt.
Rick.
Among other things, it's to cast doubt on electoral results.
Well, why didn't they just remove the names, Rick?
Well, they're removing the names from the inactive.
After being sued for 3 years, yeah.
Yeah, but every article I read said it's.
Yeah, I know. All the Democrats told you that there was no problem, nothing to see here. We Democrats aren't cheating by leaving 1.5 million extra names on the rolls. We're not cheating, but you will have to sue us for 3 years.
But you're okay with fucking up the Postal Service. You're gonna fucking scuttle our mail. Do you receive shit by mail?
I don't think that they're going to scuttle our mail. I think that they are going.
They are. I receive at least. Well, no, I receive half a dozen different medications by mail, and I also receive other.
Well, I've got an idea. How about going to the polling place to vote? By the way, you know, they had an election in New York. I have to say the director mentioned this. I didn't think of it myself. They had an election in New York, and they still haven't figured it out. They were voting by mail.
Okay.
They still haven't figured it out. It's been about 3 weeks. Is that what you want, Rick? Because you're so afraid of COVID?
Yes, that's what I fucking want. That's what I want. If it takes 3 weeks.
Well, Rick, can't you? What happens if 2 months from now there's no more disease? What happens if the virus goes away?
That's not what's happening. We're still getting 1,000 deaths a day, 1,200, 1,400 deaths a day. So, and
do you know how many deaths there were in Utah, in the state of Utah?
No, I don't know.
Since January, there have been 352 deaths.
Okay.
So, do you think they should be able to go to the polling place?
I think they should have a choice. I mean, just because
I know you want to cheat, and you can't cheat. Trump won't let you cheat.
As I said,
they won't let you.
As I said,
do you think I have a right to an honest election?
Yeah, but vote by mail has safeguards. You got barcoding.
No, it doesn't.
You have signature match.
Because nobody is going to be No one's going to be, they're going to get millions of people trying to track their ballots. Does that make any sense, Rick? Do you think the U.S. Postal Service, they've already said, they said this 3 months ago that they wouldn't have the capacity. You don't want an honest election. You really don't.
Yeah, I do, because
you want the Democrats to put a cheat.
No, fuck you, I do not. And if people vote early, if people use all the different means that they have using drop boxes, so are you drop boxes, polling places, being able to drop their ballots in the mail, it shouldn't, the logistics are not impossible to overcome, and we should get election results within. Now, I'm not going to be Pollyanna about it. It might take a week to get the results from some states.
Rick, it's not going to take a week. It'll take months, and in the end, no one will ever know whether there was any cheating. No one will ever know.
Bullshit.
And that's what
And
you
in the
want.
meantime, you guys are fucking up the U.S. Postal Service. I get four prescriptions.
You know,
I get five prescription medications in the mail.
Get off your fucking butt and go get your medication, you little pansy.
Fuck you. It's a more efficient, cost-effective. I would pay 5 times as much to go get my medications at the fucking pharmacy. I'm signed up for this because it's cheaper for the insurance company. It's cheaper for everybody to fucking send me my meds. And I'm in good shape because I tend to take, sometimes I'll take half a pill. And so I tend to have, like, I have a buffer. So my shit, when I run out, I've got a few pills left over before, even if it takes 10 days for my shit to arrive. But people like, on Twitter, you see the stories of veterans who getting your pills by mail is the most efficient way for people to receive medication. I pay $30 a prescription for pills by mail compared to $100 if I go to the fucking pharmacy. And you guys, and pills aren't the only thing I buy by mail. I buy, like, I don't know, shit to give Carol. And shit goes, I had a package get recently under the new fucked up post office. I had a package get hung up for 18 days in Chicago. That shit didn't happen last year. Part of it's because of COVID, because that makes people shorthanded, and part of it is you guys are fucking the Postal Service. And when you fuck the Postal Service, you're fucking all sorts of people. You're not just fucking Democrats. You're fucking everybody, and you're fucking sick people. And it's bullshit.
Okay, a year ago, Postal Service was also inefficient.
Yeah, inefficient.
The Postal Service is not capable of handling this.
I've been using the Postal Service my whole life. I love the Postal Service, and shit didn't start getting bad until COVID.
Okay, what happened is this. The COVID pandemic is affecting the Postal Service. Okay? Yeah, I understand, and that's why it's going to be more inefficient than ever. So it's just not appropriate to use it.
So why are you guys pulling thousands of mailboxes out of the ground? Why are you guys shutting down 671 automatic automatic mail sorting machines that can sort 36,000 pieces of mail an hour? Why were those fucking pulled? The only reason is because you guys are trying to fuck the Postal Service to make it hard for people to vote absentee or vote by mail. Trump says it's okay.
It's because of cost-cutting measures.
That's not cost-cutting to take these machines that cost.
It is because people are using the internet.
Bull fucking shit. You guys are pulling out the cost-cutting measures of automatic mail sorting and making people sort the mail by hand. These machines that were already bought and were already in service for years and can cost up to $4 million a piece. You guys pulled out $2 billion worth of automatic machinery that was functioning fine. It's not cost cutting. It's fucking the Postal Service at Trump's orders. Trump says it's fine to vote by mail, and Trump says it's fine to vote by mail in Florida because he needs Florida's votes and he thinks it'll go his way, and that's where he votes by mail. But he says don't trust vote by mail in blue states. It's all bullshit. It's the most shameful shit he's ever done, and that's saying something, because his negligence on COVID has left us with close to 200,000 dead, and
Did
certainly.
you know? Did you know that it turned out that the New York governor was lying when they said it was only 7,000 elderly people that he killed? It turns out it might be 14,000
Fine,
elderly
that's
people
still
that the
less
blue
than,
state governors.
that's 8% of everybody who's fucking
Yeah, I
dead.
know, but all the Democrat governors made the same mistake.
We have
Almost
four governors of
almost all.
four Democratic governors made the
Uh,
early mistake of putting
and
old people.
that's where most of the deaths have
Bull
occurred, Rick.
fucking shit. The total
Pennsylvania,
number of
Pen, Pens,
fuck you.
Pen,
The total number of
Pennsylvania,
deaths in Democratic
Pennsylvania.
states from that era is less than 30,000 people, and 173,000, more like 200,000 if you go by excess morbidity, are dead.